अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहत है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So welcome. This is our 18th lecture in this SEM. And before that, of course, we have done Balbodh 1, 2, 3. That was also another maybe 18 lectures, 20 lectures like that. So in all, we have been together since I think October we started, October or November. October, I suppose. And then, so close to around say 30s, 18 plus 18, 36, that is 72 hours. Okay. And now, today we'll be continuing with the Siddh Pujan, Jai Mala of Siddh Pujan, page number 8. I'll make you a co-host, Soumya.
Sir, 2 minutes I will take.
Yeah, no problem. I'm making you co-host. In meantime, you get ready and I will make some announcement. We have already completed Gandhar Mulyankan. And now, the next assignment, oral assignment. We have two oral assignments in a semester. So first one is Gandhar Mulyankan, which most of you have completed. If anyone is left off, you can do it immediately. I'll just check it out. And the next assignment is about Viva. Okay. In Viva, we give you 3 questions. And I have posted those 3 questions in the group. Okay. And the last date to finish that 3 questions is 30th June. So almost 21 days. We are having 22 days. In fact, I've given you 1 day more. Usually we give 21 days, but I thought, okay, 1 day more, 22 days. So you have to finish by that. You have to answer all the 3 questions within 10 to 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. Okay. And out of these 3 questions, 2 are you already aware because you have done concept clarity on those 2 papers. So you know in detail, but still I want to highlight this question and I would like that you completely understand this question and you also capture this in your thought process because this is going to work wonders in our spiritual life. This is the basis of practicing discriminative knowledge. So both the questions are very good. And the third one also will be a part of your concept clarity paper 3. But I will take some time to do that. That will be the last chapter in this. So after I finish that chapter, you will be able to answer that question also. In meantime, you can complete 2 questions and keep ready, or you can send me across through voice message. Okay. So that you can do. And by that time, maybe not next week, but next to next week. So today is Saturday. Next Saturday we'll be finishing of other chapters. And then the next Saturday, we can complete this Nischay Vyavhar, the last chapter. Okay. And if you are willing to take, if you are agreeing to take one extra class, then we can do the same class on, you suggest which day would you prefer. Otherwise, we have enough time. We'll be finishing on time. So let it be. We are not taking extra classes. So next Saturday, we'll be finishing the other chapters and then we will move on to the last chapter. Okay. So today, we'll be completing this Jaimala of Siddh Pujan. Okay. Last time we had completed the submission of 8 substances, Jal, Chandan, Akshat, Pushpa, Neved, Deep, Dhoop, or Phal. So these are the stanzas, verses that we have finished. And now we are moving on to the Jai Mala. Okay. So first we will read the Hindi one and then the English one. आलोकित हो लोक में प्रभु परमात्म प्रकाश आनंद अमृत पान कर मिटे सभी की प्यास. So in English it is written, let the world be illumined with the divine light of the soul. So actually the exact translation would be, let the whole world know that you are the supreme being. O liberated God, O Siddh Bhagwan, let the world know that you are the supreme being. Okay. Here supreme being means Siddh Bhagwan. Then the next line, and the thirst of all be quenched with the nectar of joy that you are continuously enjoying or consuming. Okay. So this is the meaning of the first two lines of the first stanza. Then the next one. So this was about the homage. Homage means when we show respect publicly, that is called homage. Now moving on to the next stanza. जय ज्ञान मात्र ज्ञायक स्वरूप तुम हो अनंत चैतन्य रूप तुम हो अखंड आनंद पिंड मोहारी दलन को तुम प्रचंड. Victory to you, O omniscient being. You are eternal and all consciousness. So all consciousness means infinite consciousness, and infinite consciousness means infinite knowledge and infinite perception. Okay. So the Lord, the Siddh Pramesti, is an omniscient being. He is eternal and he is having attributes of infinite knowledge and infinite perception. तुम हो अखंड आनंद पिंड मोहारी दलन को तुम प्रचंड. Akhand, you are an indivisible. Indivisible means akhand, and a mass of bliss, Anand Pind. A strong fire to destroy delusion. Mohari means delusion, Dalan means destroy, and Tum Prachand, strong fire. Okay. So this is the meaning of this verse. The next one. रागादि विकारी भाव जार तुम हुए निरामय निर्विकार निरद्वंद निराकुल निराधार निर्मम निर्मल हो निराकार. Yeah. So Arunji, you were out of station for last 2 weeks, so you can catch up on recording. Even while traveling also you can catch up on recordings. Okay. So this is something that you have to do. If you miss the live class, you have to catch up on recording and be updated with what the class is going on. Okay. So here in this stanza, it says, burning all attachments, raga di, vikari, bhav, jar. Jar means jalana. So that is burning all attachments and unnatural inclinations. So what is this unnatural inclinations? It means all kinds of toxic emotions. Okay. So that is vikari bhav, ragadi vikari bhav jar. तुम हुए निरामय निराकार. You have become niramay. Niramay means devoid of all kinds of blemishes. It is not written here in the text, but you have to add it. You have become flawless, devoid of all kinds of mistakes. Okay, so that is flawless. And nirvikar, that means passionless. So Sid Parmesti is having all these qualities. Okay, he has burned all the attachments and toxic emotion. He has become flawless and passionless. You are without any conflict. Conflict means nirdvand. Okay, कोई भी प्रकार का द्वंद नहीं है. You are without any conflict. There is no conflict in your mind. Then nirakul. Nirakul means without any anxiety. Niradhar. Niradhar means you are shelterless. You have no foundation. Then nirmam. Nirmam is devoid of attachments. Mamta rahit, that is nirmam. So no attachment with anybody. Then nirmal. Okay, nirmal means pure sentiment. The one who has destroyed all kinds of attachments and aversions is nirmal. Mal rahit is nirmal. Okay, that means pure sentiment. And the last one is nirakar and formless. Formless means you don't have any shape, because the body has the shape, the matter has a shape, but now he has become bodiless. He has destroyed all three kinds of karmas: dravya karma, bhav karma, and no karma. Okay, so you can make a chart that we will see in the next chapter. Let me finish this one first. नित करत रहत आनंद रास, स्वाभाविक परिणति में विलास, प्रभु शिव रमणी के हृदय हार, नित करत रहत निज में विहार. Soumya, you have got, I have made you a co-host.
Sir, please make me the co-host again because I joined from the laptop now.
Okay, okay. I was just wondering what happened. Yes, thank you. Okay. So always enjoying the everlasting bliss. Nit karat rahat anand ras. So what will we be doing when we get liberated? Nit karat rahat anand ras. Always enjoying everlasting bliss. Avyabad sukh. You know, no disturbance, no disturbance. Continuously enjoying everlasting bliss. You are happy in your own existence. So here existence means modifications. You are happy in your own existence means whatever you are manifesting, that you are content with. Prabhu Shiva Ramani ke hridaya har. So Shiv means moksha. Moksha, Ramani means मोक्ष की जो क्या बोलते हैं रानी है ना, Lady of Liberation. In English, it's written as Lady of Liberation. Hriday Har. So Hriday Har in Hindi means husband. Husband को कहते हैं Hriday Har. So here it is translated in English in the actual translation base, but it means husband. You are the garland of the heart of Lady of Liberation. You can also say you are the husband of Lady of Liberation. Then नित करत रहत निज में विहार. You are always attuned to thyself. Okay. प्रभु भव दधि यह गहरो अपार, बहते जाते सब निराधार, निज परिणति का सत्यार्थ भान, शिव पद दाता जो तत्व ज्ञान. O Lord, this ocean of the world is very deep, है ना. भवदधि यह गहरो अपार, very deep. बहते जाते सब निराधार, and we are flowing in it without any support. Okay, so we are not getting any support in this oceanly world, you know. We are flowing, flowing, flowing. There is nobody to save us, nobody to protect us, nobody to stop us from flowing away, you know. निज परिणति का सत्यार्थ भान. I have never known my own being. Own being here means manifestation. And manifestations means two things: substance nature and modification nature. I have never known my own being and the fundamentals leading to liberation. Shivapad Data, Jo Tattva Gyan. Shivapad is liberation, moksha. And उसके दाता कौन है? तत्व ज्ञान, the fundamentals, the 7 fundamentals. So you see, you have got a key to liberation. When you study deeply the 7 fundamentals, that is the key to liberation. So here again, it is mentioned here. So just if you do such topics, the 4 expositions and the 7 fundamentals, and the next one that is coming up is Nischay Vyavhar. All these are very cream topics. And if you understand this much only properly, you will get liberated. That's what it's being said here. Okay. One more thing I would share in the class is that I have checked few of the papers of your CC1 and CC2, and what I came across, although it is all very good, but still I have to suggest some good things that you can practice, you know. Like you have to first listen to the lecture and then you write the CC. Because if you don't listen to the lecture, and if you write on your own, taking contents from internet and Google, wherever it is available, so those may not be written by our acharyas, you know. There are many people who are interpreting in their own way. So that is not correct. So that then you will make gross mistakes. Okay. So it is better that you follow the textbook, you follow the class, and then you add your own material, whatever you have thought about, include in it, and then it makes a very interesting writing for you, and also a great treasure for you, which you can always revise it every now and then and enjoy those moments, you know. So this is something about the homework that you do in concept clarity. But otherwise, as a first timer, the quality is too good. I'm very much impressed. And if you attend class regularly and be sincere in your assignments, I can assure you that you will be the most happiest person, and this will be your most happiest phase of life. You know, these 5 years will also go, and those people who have completed 5 years course, we are in the 9th year now, coming up in the 9th year, 9th batch, you know. So it started in 2016, the first batch, then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24th. This is the 9th batch, okay? So all those who have completed, they still want to be in touch with me, and I'm taking one class. Yesterday morning it was there, and it's on a question answer format, a book called Gyan Goshti, published from Songad. It is about the question answer raised to Gurudev Sri in his evening sessions, and those questions were published in Atma Dharma magazine, and from that Atma Dharma magazine it has been sorted topic wise by Dr. Bharilji and Abhay Kumarji, and on that we do discussions every Friday morning, 6:15 to 7:15. So that way they connect with me. But the thing is that this 5 years will go on. This is your dream run. Keeping all other things, not prioritizing those things now, and if you focus on this, then it's going to help you in a big way. Okay. But whatever I have checked so far has been very good, and whatever remains I will check after 1 week or 2 weeks when the syllabus completes, and then also we will have another one special class wherein I will be mentioning all the mistakes or what you can do better in this assignments for yourself and for the purpose of this syllabus. That also we'll discuss one day. But let me first check all the papers. And in meantime, you complete whatever assignments pending are there, you complete. पाया नहीं मैं उसको पहचान, उल्टा ही मैंने लिया मान, चेतन को जड़ में लिया जान, तन में अपना पा लिया मान. I always thought of them. Them means those fundamentals, 7 fundamentals. So, पाया नहीं उसको पहचान. I never recognized these 7 fundamentals, and I believed it to be different from what it is, from what they are, means its true nature. Okay. Chetan ko jad mein liya jaan. So now from the first line, what you can comprehend? It's again a known topic to you. Just any guesses? What we are talking about? पाया नहीं मैं उसको पहचान. Usko here means thought of them. Them here means fundamentals, 7 fundamentals. So you have already done concept clarity on 7 fundamentals. I've given you one question here also in Viva about the 7 fundamentals. So I always thought of them, that is the 7 fundamentals, as very different from what they are. So this is suggesting to which topic? Errors regarding 7 fundamentals. You have all done errors. Very nicely you have done it. So this is the first line indicates now they are going to mention the errors regarding the 7 fundamentals. Now next line is about soul and non-soul elements. Okay. चेतन को जड़ में लिया जान. Regarding soul as body or physical form. Tan means body. तन में अपना पा लिया मान. Considering both one, soul and body as one, considering soul and body as one and the same. So that is the mistake about soul and non-soul elements. Now you tell me what would be the next element, which it would be the next element. शुभ अशुभ राग जो दुख खान, उसमें माना आनंद महान. I indulge in merits and demerits, okay, which are a mine of miseries. Dukhi Khan, okay. Now, usme mana anand mahan, that is missing here in English translation. So you can just note it down in your textbook. I believe it to be fully of, I believed it to be full of great eternal bliss. You can add this line. Usme mana anand mahan. I believed it to be full of great eternal bliss. प्रभु अशुभ कर्म को मान हे, माना पर शुभ को उपादे. So the first line, which element we are talking about? Shubh Ashubh Rag Jo Dukh Khan. I indulge in merit and demerits. So that is influx element. And the next line is bondage element and regarded demerits as undesirable and merits as desirable. Both are binding karma, so how can be desirable? Now the next line is about the stoppage of influx. जो धर्म ध्यान आनंद रूप, उसको माना में दुख स्वरूप. मन वांछित चाहे नित्य भोग, उनको ही माना है मनोग. Manok means very beautiful, good, happy. Blissful spiritual activities were regarded by me as painful. So this is about which element? Errors regarding stoppage of influx. Okay, so blissful spiritual activities are always happiness, but we are regarding it as painful. That is our error in regarding understanding of stoppage of influx element. The next line is about dissociation of bondage, error regarding dissociation of bondage element. मन वांछित नित्य चा, मन वांछित चाहे नित्य भोग, उनको ही माना है मनोग. I only craved for sensual pleasures and regarded them as conducive to happiness. So this is about the nirjara, errors regarding dissociation of bondage elements. Okay. The next is about nirjara. Okay. So this one was also about nirjara, samvar, nirjara, and this is also about nirjara. These both the lines are related to nirjara, and the next two lines will be about liberation, moksha. So nirjara is dissociation of bondage. इच्छा निरोध की नहीं चाह कैसे मिटता भव विषयदा, आकुलता मैं संसार सुख, सुख जो निश्चय से है महादुख. I never liked abstinence. Now, what is this abstinence? Abstinence is self-restraint, self-control. How could the fire of sensual joys be extinguished? So, if you don't extinguish your desires, then you will not be able to enjoy the eternal bliss. So, to enjoy the eternal bliss, we need to extinguish the fire of desire. So the solution is we cannot fulfill the desires. So we have to get rid of these desires. Worldly pleasures are all disturbing, are all with anxiety, are all with restlessness. In fact, there is no pleasures in the worldly objects, and in reality lead to great unhappiness. Nischay se hai mahadukh. So from the real point of view, it leads us to great unhappiness. What? Worldly pleasures. Okay. So this was all about the errors regarding dissociation of bondage. Now coming on to the last, the liberation, moksha. उसकी ही निश दिन करी आस, कैसे कटता संसार पास, भव दुख का पर को है तू जान, पर से ही सुख को लिया मान. I craved for these day and night. These means what? Quick reply. I craved for these day and night. So these here means the things that we explained in the earlier stanza, worldly pleasures. Okay. I craved for worldly pleasures day and night. How could worldly bondage be removed? I thought that non-self entities of this existence cause grief and joy in life. So this is my error regarding the understanding of the seventh fundamental, the liberation. Okay. Now, next. मैदान दिया
सर ये लास्ट
अभिमान.
लाइन एक बार दोबारा बता देंगे. आई थॉट दैट नॉन सेल्फ एंटिटीज ऑफ दिस एग्जिस्टेंस.
Cause
ये
grief
नॉन
and joy in life. But all these non-self entities are different from us. So, एक द्रव्य दूसरे द्रव्य का तो कुछ कर नहीं सकता है. So, how these non-self entities of this universe or existence cause grief and joy in life, in my life, right? So it cannot cause grief and joy in my life, but because of my wrong understanding about the seven fundamentals, I consider this non-self entities to be the cause, but it is not the cause. So
तो
we
सर ये
are
नॉन सेल्फ एंटिटीज क्या द्रव्य हुए?
par.
So these would mean our own parents or husband.
Yeah. All. Leave alone parents. Even Dev, Shastra, Guru are all non-self entities for us.
So, and one question I also had. So the previous stanza says, "Jo निश्चय से है महादुख." So निश्चय is decision, right?
No, Nischay is a real point of view. In reality,
Okay.
correct understanding. Nischay means the correct understanding. Nischay means the fact. Okay. Nischay means the real point of view. And Vyavhar means conventional point of view. So whatever is said from the Nischay point of view is all correct. You have to believe those things. And whatever is said from the Vyavhar point of view, conventional point of view, are not correct. But they are being said from a particular perspective. But that perspective, but the fact is not the correct one. Okay.
Sir, but ये दोनों contradictory lines नहीं हो गई क्योंकि first line में it's saying I craved for the worldly pleasures day and night. How
हाँ,
could worldly bondage be removed? And then in the second line it says I thought that non-self entities, the worldly bondages of this universe cause grief and joy.
So this is his errors in the understanding of liberation. Okay, his errors. These are the errors. I craved for this day and night. These mean what? The worldly pleasures. Okay, so he craved for worldly pleasures. Why? Because he believed that there is happiness in the worldly pleasures. So that's why he was craving for that. And because of that, how could the worldly bondage be removed? It cannot be removed, and he cannot get liberated. Okay, so because of that error, he is not getting liberated. Now, if you remove these 7 errors, okay, then you will get liberated. I thought that non-self, this is again a wrong belief. I thought that non-self entities are which element?
The worldly bondages.
No. Non-self entities are which element among the 7 fundamentals?
Is it non-self, sir?
Yes, non-self, non-soul. So Jeev,
Non-self.
Ajiv.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Ajiv. Okay. So I thought that non-self entities of this existence cause grief and joy in life. And because of that, he is wandering in the universe from one species to another species, from one state of existence to another state of existence. And that transmigration is continuously happening non-stop, and because he never understood the 7 fundamentals correctly. If you understand the 7 fundamentals correctly, it leads to right belief. And once the right belief comes in, the right knowledge and right conduct also follows. And treading on that path, you will get liberated. Okay. Now there is again mistakes coming up. It's 7 fundamentals are over. Then there are some other mistakes that he has in his belief that is also coming out. मैं दान दिया अभिमान ठान. I offered charity, but with pride. You have to offer charity humbly, not with pride. But the one who are ignorant ones, they do donations with the aim of getting name, fame, abhiman than. I offered charity but with pride. Uske फल पर नहीं दिया ध्यान. Never cared for its consequences. And the consequence is that if you offer charity with pride, you even don't bind auspicious karma. You bind inauspicious karma. So you have a double loss. On the one hand, you have spent money also. And on the other hand, instead of binding auspicious karma, you have bound inauspicious karma. So just not understanding the proper meaning. Okay. Puja ki nivardhan mang. I worshipped, but that also for worldly gains. Again, here is a mistake. कैसे मिटता संसार स्वांग. How could this mundane existence be annihilated? Annihilated means destroyed. So मेरा संसार मिटा नहीं. I am still in that universe and still in that transmigratory cycle. And this is the opportunity that I've got, with access to Jainism, with access to this kind of text, with access to this kind of course, and with access to this kind of the whole, whatever you have got good things in life, So, Puja Kini Vardhan Mang, I worshipped you for worldly gains. So again, if you worship for worldly gain, you don't bind auspicious karma, you bind inauspicious karma. So again, there is a double loss. Kaise mitta sansar maag? How could this mundane existence be annihilated? How could this transmigration come to an end? Never. It's going to bind new karmas, and you are going to increase your cycle of death and birth, death and birth, death and birth, and death and birth. And this we have been doing from time immortal. And here is an opportunity for us to stop that cycle and come out of this cycle and get liberated and enjoy eternal, everlasting bliss forever. The soul is going to remain forever. Now you decide whether you want to live in these four states of existence, inflicting pain and miseries on you, or you want to get liberated and completely enjoy yourself. Choice is yours. You have logged into a very big treasure, only if you can understand and comprehend. This is the key to your happiness, So you have to give priorities to this. You have to be very sincere in your class attending class, and then you have to be sincere in your assignments. Okay. The 5 years will pass so fast that you will just remember that yesterday I joined and today it's over. It's like that only. And this will make your life interesting also, and you can say meaningful. Okay. So let's be very focused on what we are doing. Tera swarup lakh prabhu aaj. Tera swarup lakh means see, know. Tera swarup lakh prabhu aaj. I realize today your actual identity. हो गए सफल संपूर्ण काज. Everything, all my activities are now successful. Whatever efforts I have put in has yielded me very successful results. I have known your noble attributes. What is this noble attributes? Your true identity today, and consider myself to be fortunate. Indeed, we are all fortunate. Mo ur pragatyo prabhu bhed vigyan. Mo ur means mo means mind, ur means heart. Okay. Pragatyo means has risen in me. Prabhu means Siddh Parmesti. We are praying to Siddh Parmesti. This is Siddh Pujan. Bhed Vigyan is discriminative knowledge, because it is Gyan also. So only Bhed is discrimination and Bhed Gyan is discriminative knowledge. मैंने तुमको लीना पहचान. With discriminative knowledge, I have known your divine being. Okay, so discrimination has risen in me. Now I'm able to differentiate between the soul and the non-soul elements. I'm able to differentiate between the other 5 elements like influx, bondage, stoppage of influx, dissociation of bondage, and liberation. Okay, so all the 7 fundamentals are very clear to me, and by understanding their true nature, I can practice discriminative knowledge, and by practicing discriminative knowledge, I can experience myself, I can realize myself, and that is the time my journey in the path of liberation begins, and that is the time when I experience eternal bliss. Okay, so a very important moment in our life. तुम पर के करता नहीं नाथ. So now he has identified the Sid Parmeshti now very clearly, and now he's talking all the positive things. तुम पर के करता नहीं नाथ, ज्ञाता हो सबके एक साथ, simultaneously. तुम भक्तों को कुछ नहीं दे, अपने समान बस बना ले. You don't give anything to your devotees. What you do? अपने समान बस बना ले. Only make them like yourself. Okay. You never do or undo things. Okay. So you are not a doer of things. You are only a knower of things, and you only know them as they are, and that also simultaneously. Sabko ek saath. You don't give anything to your devotees, only make them like yourself. Oh. So the joy, the news that we are going to get liberated brings so much of joy in our life, and it makes us very sincere and serious in these studies. Because this is our last fight. There will be no further fights in your life. This is the only fight. Now you want to get into this kind of knowledge, and the delusion will stop you from getting this knowledge. Because if you get this knowledge, you will get rid of delusion. So delusion is trying its best not to get you to this knowledge, and you have to put in special efforts to do this course, to understand these topics, to be in this path and get ahead. यह मैंने तेरी सुनी आन, जो लेवे तुमको बस पिछान. I heard of this glory of yours, that whoever knows you, your journey of the path of liberation begins. Whoever knows you. Now, knows you means not knowing just, knowing the whole journey, the spiritual journey that Sid Parmeshti has undergone from a mundane existence like us to the highest echelon that he has reached in his life, that is the liberated soul. Okay, so that is his full journey. He was just like us someday, and from there he began his journey, and today he has got liberated. So I have heard of this glory of yours, that whoever knows you means your journey or the path of liberation that you have taken up, and so by knowing you, we will also be pursuing that path, and we will also get liberated. वह पाता है केवल ज्ञान, attains complete omniscience. So whoever knows you attain complete omniscience. So we are also going to get liberated and manifest complete omniscience. होता परिपूर्ण कला निदान, and becomes perfect and supreme. Next one. विपदामय पर पद है निकाम, निज पद ही है आनंद धाम. All other positions is missing. All other positions or posts are full of troubles. Only the Sid Parmeshtis are the happiest, most happiest of the lot, of all the souls in this universe. The liberated souls are the ones who are the happiest, most happiest person. All other positions are full of troubles. Only our own abode is full of joy. मेरे मन में बस यही चाह. Now I have only one desire. निज पद को पाऊ हे जिना. O Jinendra. So here Jinendra, by Jinendra they refer to Sid Bhagwan. O Jinendra, I should realize my own self and attain liberation, complete happiness. O liberated Lord. So that is the end of the Jai Mala. Now the concluding stanza. पर का कुछ नहीं चाहता, चाहूं अपना भाव, निज स्वभाव में थिर रहूं, मेटो सकल विभाव. I do not desire anything other than my own self. I don't want anything from outside world. I only desire my own self. Let me remain stationed in my inner being, discarding all else. So when you remain immersed in yourself, you automatically destroy all kinds of alien dispositions and all kinds of karma and all kinds of quasi karma. So you discard all kinds of karmas, dravya karma, bhav karma, and no karma, and you also get liberated. Okay, so this is the only way that you can get liberated. And such a nice day that in a Jai Mala also. So if you do puja every day, you will be every day uh, moving in the path of liberations, you know. So when we all know this knowledge has come to us through the divine sound of Aryant Tirthankar, okay. So we always go to the temple to pay homage to them, to respect them, and because they are the ones who have shown us this path. Otherwise, we would have been wandering in this universe from one species to another species, taking innumerable birth and death. And to come out of this transmigration requires special effort and special knowledge. And that is what we are acquiring now. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next chapter, and that is Who Am I? Chapter number 5. You know, we know everything in the world, everything is available on Google, but who am I is something that we only have to explore. Google will not tell us who are you, you know. So who am I? मैं कौन हूँ? Very nice essay written by Dr. Hari. This essay has been written by Dr. Bharilji, Hukamjanchi Bharil. Such a nice essay that this whole chapter of 2-3 pages, I think it's 3 pages, yeah, 3 pages only, but logically and chronically, he has explained how to realize yourself, how to identify your true nature. Okay, so this is an essay. It's written in that format only, and we will read in that format only. So, Hemali, you start reading. Who am I? First, second, third, fourth, 4 paragraphs, and then we conclude. So you read 5 paragraphs. First 5 paragraphs.
Sure. So I just typed in Chat GPT according to Jainism, who am I? And so
Yeah.
we said that, Google won't tell you and all, but Chat GPT does recognize what Jainism.
Yeah. So ChatGPT has got even if you ask how can I experience myself, he gives you very good suggestions. I also tried one day. So
Yeah.
let's explore. So they are really giving good informations, and the flow of language is also very good. The 3 questions that I gave you for today's Viva, that also I translated through ChatGPT only. So there were some mistakes like, drashti. So for drashti, they take it as vision. So it's all machine translation. So there will be mistakes here and there, but you have to correct it. But otherwise the flow and the grasping is absolutely very good. Like it's a treat to watch the wonders of technology, that so how that Chat GPT operates, you all must be knowing that there are certain data feed in that, and based on that data, it gives you the solution. It's a machine, and the kind of the speedily it gives the solution, it's just simply very surprising. You even cannot think of those solutions, but it in a matter of few seconds, it lights the whole article, whatever inputs have been programmed in it, that all comes out, and in a very nice, logical manner. So good. So you read out what what ChatGPT says about who am I.
So I put it in chat. It says, according to Jainism, your
Yeah.
identity would be viewed
It's
in
a very long one.
no, sir.
Acha, then you go ahead.
Viewed in terms of your true self, which is referred to as Jeev. In
Yes.
Jain philosophy, each individual Jeev is considered to be eternal and intrinsically pure, but it becomes entangled in the life of cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which is sansar, due to karma. The ultimate goal in Jainism is to attain liberation by freeing the Jeev from the bondage of karma and achieving a state of spiritual purity and enlightenment.
Oh, great. So you see, a good introduction to this chapter, who am I? So if you further, customize those answers, then it will give more details.
Yeah.
It's really very nice. I mean, I have tried for my certain business and professional works also, not business, but some other official documentation work also. I tried ChatGPT, and the letters, correspondence, all of a very high quality. Only thing that you have to correct it, and you have to customize it according to your requirements. But anyways, it was a good introduction, Himali, and so nice of you to try it once more, so speedily. So that's the beauty of the young generation. You are so fast in adapting the technology and the ideas, and you are putting it into good use by joining this course at such a young age. When we started this first batch in 2016, the average age was 35 to 40 years. But now we have youngsters joining in now with an age of 20, 25, and they are considering things as a professional course, So it's a very nice scenario. Okay, you read first 5 paragraphs.
Who am I? We use the word I a number of times a day, but we have never tried to think what is the real meaning of this word. What does the word I signify? Thinking ordinarily, you can say that there is nothing in the word requiring deep thinking. Do we not understand who I am? You can also reply, I'm a child, or a young man, or I'm a man, a woman, a scholar, or a rich merchant. But my question is, are you not something else than these? Are these only synthetic, accidental modifications of various objects, only externally visible? What I mean to say is this: if you are a child, childhood is to come to an end someday, but you will continue to exist even afterwards. Therefore, you can't be a child. Likewise, you cannot also be a young man. Childhood and youth are the changes of the body, and the word I does not indicate body. I'm sure you do not regard your body as your own self. Some way, you are a rich man because of your possession of wealth. But wealth and riches are going to disappear. When wealth disappear, will you also disappear? Scholarship is the name of knowledge of a few books. Did you not exist when you had no knowledge of such books? If you did exist, it appears that you are different from riches and scholarship. That is, you're not a rich man or a scholar. The question then arises, who am I? It is not difficult to find an answer to these. If it rises in the depth of the heart and you are really inquisitive about the solution, this I has forgotten the self in his pursuit of all else. How strange that the seeker has forgotten the seeker himself. The whole world is so busy in taking care of others that it has no time to think, who am I?
Stop. So 5 paragraphs are over. In these 5 paragraphs, there are This is the introduction of who am I, and it has given various examples like I am a child, I'm a young man. So in this paragraph, uh, they have considered the associated modifications like the body, the whatever he believes himself to be, the body is an associated thing. Soul is a different entity and the body is a different entity. Soul is all consciousness and body is non-conscious element. Okay. So I am a child, I'm a young man, I'm a woman, I'm a scholar, I'm a rich merchant. So in this scholar and rich merchant, the richness, the wealth is different from the soul. Okay. So all these external objects, the soul has identified himself with. And so that is the first level of discriminative knowledge that we have to practice. The second paragraph, the last line, all these are only synthetic accidental modification. So it would be not synthetic accidental, it will be all these are only associated modifications of various objects. Okay, associated words would be very apt there, so you can correct those. And these are all externally visible and we believe us to be right. So that was the first. The second, they talk about the body. So body is already different from the soul, but we believe the body to be ours. We believe that I am a child, I am a young man. So these are the different stages of the development of body. Okay, but we are not the child, we are not the youth. The soul is always eternal and the same always. Okay, I am sure you do not regard your body as your own self. So this is the second level of discriminative knowledge. The third coming up, I am I am rich. I am rich because of my wealth. Okay, so with wealth you are considered a rich man. Then with knowledge you are considered a scholar. Okay, but these are all when you were not a rich man and when you were not a scholar, still the soul was still there. So that means you are not a rich man or a scholar. That we conclude. Now the last paragraph, the fifth paragraph, the question then arises, who am I? So our question, the theme of our essay, who am I? Now we have logically discussed and ruled out certain things that we were believing ourselves to be. Okay, associated modification, then the body, then the wealth and the knowledge, intellect, that all we had. Now the conclusion, the question arises, who am I? It is not difficult to find an answer. Now again, just see the words. It is not difficult to find an answer to this. If it rises in the depth of the heart, that means if you give priority to this question, and you are really inquisitive, right? If you have the curiosity, then you will find the solution. So first you need to have a curiosity that I want to know myself. I want to get liberated. I don't want to uh, keep on moving from one species to another species, from one state of existence to another state of existence. This transmigration I want to stop. So if you have that vision in your mind, then you will find the solution. This I has forgotten the self in his pursuit of all else. है ना, जीवन की घटा टोप में मैं अपने आप को भूल गया. There are many bhajans on these lines, भूल आपको भरमत जानी, it's in छह डाला, and then another one, हैरान हो गया, something like that. भूल अपने को भूल कर हैरान हो गया and all. So this question is very important. Who am I? This I has forgotten the self in his pursuit of all else. So he has lost his identity. Now he has lost his identity, but the identity, the existence is still there. The qualities are still there. The quality has not gone anywhere. It is only because of delusion that you have lost your identity. How strange that the seeker has forgotten the seeker himself. The whole world is so busy in taking care of others, not taking care of others, but in acquiring other things, that it has no time to think, who am I? So you are all very fortunate and special people that you have taken time out to explore this, who am I? So just consider that in this whole universe, there are infinite souls wandering in the transmigrating in the four states of existence, and we are the few luckiest ones who has time and the material available to think, who am I? So now the next part of the essay, now he will give you the correct logics. Earlier in this essay, initially the writer tells us what you believed yourself to be. Then he says that if you have a real curiosity, you will find the solution. And now begins the solution. Okay. So next 4 paragraphs. Tomya.
Yes, sir. Different from body, mind, speech, delusion, attachment, aversion, and even from the intellect aiming at others, I am an everlasting, pure, eternally conscious being, having all bliss and sentience and never changing. For example, a man forgets that he is an Indian, is the thick cover of provincialism, and thinks that he is a Bengali, a Madrasi, or a Punjabi. Indian nationalism thus stands divided in the deep feelings of provincialism. In the same way, the soul sinks deep in the clouds of oneness with the realization that one is a man, a god, a masculine, a feminine, a child, or a young man. Why should, therefore, we forget that we are animate sentient beings amidst the crisis of being possessed of wealth or learning, or being a child or an old man, just as our leaders ask us to remember that we are Indian first, Madrasis or Bengalis afterwards. Just as every Indian should strongly feel that he is an Indian in order to preserve the unity of Bharat, for such a feeling is the only way to protect that unity. In the same way, the strong feeling of being a soul is very necessary in order to get a correct answer to the question, who am I? So, I am only an animate being, different from wife, son, house, riches, money, and even my body. Delusions, attachments, and aversions that rise in the soul, being not part of its nature and transitory, do not come within the limits of the soul and the petty development of our knowledge, depending upon other objects, is not able to throw light on our perfect supreme consciousness. The fully developed manifestation of our consciousness, too, since it is not eternal, cannot be accepted as our everlasting, perfect, and indivisible soul, because soul is a substance, while this fully developed state is only a modification of the attribute of consciousness.
Stop. So these first 3 lines are very important. Different from body and mind. Speech. Okay. Body, mind, speech. Mind is man, speech is vachan, and body is kai. So different from man, vachan, kai. So here we are practicing the discriminative knowledge. Okay. So soul is different from body, mind, speech. Then delusion, because delusions and attachments and aversions are what? Alien disposition, toxic dispositions, okay? Toxic emotions, okay? So soul is different from delusions, soul is different from attachments, soul is different from aversions, because these are seen only in mundane existence. Just now we read the Sid Pujan. So Sid Bhagwan is not having delusion, not having attachment, not having aversion, not having body, not having mind, not having speech. So I'm just like Sid Bhagwan, right now, not when I get liberated, but right now in this body itself, still I am different from body, still I'm different from mind, speech, delusion, attachment, and aversion. We are going one step further, and even from the intellect Aiming at others. Aiming at others means focusing at others. Intellect, momentary intellect. Momentary word is missing in Hindi. It is momentary. Kshansthai, I suppose. And even from the momentary intellect. Intellect means buddhi. Okay, intelligence. Aiming at others. Others means non-self substances. Okay. I am, so now this is all from negative. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Even my present knowledge, whatever I have got, that is also not part of my soul. Okay. Because that knowledge is wrong knowledge. And when the soul manifests, it manifests the right knowledge. Okay. So here it is written, even from the intellect, momentary intellect, focusing at non-self substances. So the intellect which focuses in non-self substance is not my part. My part would be focusing on myself. Okay. So this is the difference. Okay. So this is all from the negative perspective. Now coming from the positive perspective, what I am? I am an everlasting. Everlasting means eternal. The one who is uh, there since time immortal, and one who will be there uh, up to infinite times. So there is no beginning, no end. It is called eternal. Anadi Anant, everlasting, pure, no impurities in myself, in the pure soul. Okay. Eternally, eternally is again the same meaning as everlasting. Conscious, conscious is a quality of the soul which indicates knowledge and perception. Conscious means Chaitanya. So I am a Chaitanya, I am a conscious being. That means I am holding knowledge and perception attributes. Being, I am a conscious being having all bliss, and sentience. So sentience is knowledge and bliss means happiness, anand. Having all bliss and sentience, Jnananand Swabhavi. Okay. Jnana and Anand. Only knowledge and bliss is my attributes. I am full of knowledge and full of bliss. Okay. So if you connect to myself, if you connect to yourself, these all attributes will flow into the modification, and you can experience your modification only. Okay. So you will have a good experience, good feeling, okay, happy feeling. So we are full of happiness, but unless and until we unlock that treasure, okay, we cannot spend those things, You have 1 crore in your locker, okay. Earlier days, we used to keep tijoris, big tijoris in our home. That is called lockers. Now we keep everything in the bank, right? So you have enough wealth in that tijori or the locker, okay. But if you don't have the key to that locker, how can you use those things? And you still are a beggar because you have those things in the locker. And unless you open that locker and take this wealth out and go to the market and sell it off, you are not going to get the money. And without money, you cannot buy anything, okay. So you have to beg. So we are having all these treasures in ourselves, and the uh, last attribute, never changing, always static, dhruv element. Okay. So again, I'm repeating, I am an everlasting, pure, eternally, conscious being, having all bliss and sentience and never changing. I remain as it is, uninfluenced by any of the external situations coming up in my knowledge. I am still not changing, never changed. I was in Nigod, I never changed. I was in hell, I never changed. I am here in human being, I will not change. And if I go to Siddhalay, moksha, liberation, there also I will be remain the same. Only the modification keeps on changing, and that is the nature of modification. It keeps changing every moment. Okay. So Sith Parmeshti is also having modification. It is also changing every moment. But it is every moment omniscience knowledge. It's manifesting like that. Okay. So in this particular 4 lines, from the negative perspective, from the positive perspective, the author has been able to establish the correct picture of true identity of who am I. Okay. Very nicely captured. If you would read in Hindi, you will enjoy more, because all this in English. The problem with English is that one word will have 100 meanings. Now, which one you are going to adapt? Okay. So that is a very big challenge. And there, if you choose the wrong word, it will it will give a wrong meaning. And that's where the problem is. So same problem is there with Chat GPT and Google and whatever, they are all machines. So they don't have emotions with it. But this was translated manually by, this is translated by Manohar Lal Jain. And he's done a decent job. But still, as we move forward, the new technology comes up. There are new words being invented, and the language also undergoes through a change every 25 years. The words which were used 25 years ago are no more in practice, no new words coming up. So that way the languages changes, and it appears to be a bit difficult. But if you are making a very conscious effort to understand it, you will definitely understand it. For example, so now they are giving an example that in the provincialism, in the thick cover of provincialism, people forgets that he is an Indian. He always thinks himself to be Bengali, Madrasi, Punjabi, and fighting among themselves. But we are all part of India, and we are all Indians first, and then we move on to the provincialism part. So Indian nationalism thus stands divided in the deep feeling of provincialism. And because of that, we are not united. We have difference of opinion in every sphere of life, and we cannot move in the same direction, leave alone the states. But even in a family, there are 4 members in a family, all are not on the same page. Each one has its own different understanding and different kinds of thought process, different kinds of efforts, and different kinds of ability, So this was the first example. Just as every Indian should strongly feel that he is an Indian in order to preserve the unity of Bharat, for such a feeling is the only way to protect that unity. In the same way, the strong feeling of being a soul, right, is very necessary in order to get a correct answer to the question, who am I? So strong feeling of soul. I am not a scientist. I am not a businessman. I am not a doctor. I am not a, so there is a correction here. I am not a man, a God. So God, it would not be God here. It would be heavenly being. Okay. A man, a heavenly being, a masculine means male, feminine means female, man, woman, child, young man. All these are not the true identity of myself. I am the pure soul. Okay. Not only soul, but pure soul. Always remains, I always remain pure. Never impurity is entered into my area. Even I had been to hell, I have been to heaven, I have been to subhuman state, I have been to human state, but nothing has changed in my attributes. Not a single attribute has karma has captured, It's all there as it is. And it will remain as it is even if I get liberated. So now you have to just identify yourself that you are the pure soul. So I'm only an animate being. Animate being means living being, Chetan Tattva. Okay. the one who is attribute of knowing and perception. Okay, so I'm only an animate being, different from wife, son. Somebody was asking about wife, son, family. Even Dev Shastra Guru all comes under this category. Wife, son, houses, riches, money, and even my body. When this body is not mine, how can relatives of my body can be mine? So all because of delusion, we consider as ours, but they are not ours. So we have to always connect to the fact and then arrive at the correct decision. Delusions, attachments, and aversions that rise in the soul. Okay, these rises in the soul, being not part of its nature. It's not part of my true identity. It's not part of my pure soul. And these are how? These are transitory. These are momentary. They come and go. They do not come within the limits of the soul. Now they are establishing the correct identification of the soul. And the petty development of our knowledge, depending upon other objects, is not able to throw light on our perfect supreme consciousness. Paripurn Gyan Savavi Atma. Okay. So depending upon other objects, the knowledge, petty development of our knowledge depending upon other objects, that means Sayapsham Gyan is not able to throw light on our perfect supreme consciousness. Because to know this perfect supreme consciousness, you need the knowledge which is coming from the soul. Okay. The fully developed manifestation of our consciousness too, since it is not eternal, it is momentary, cannot be accepted as our everlasting, perfect, and indivisible soul. Because soul is a substance, while this fully developed state is only a modification of the attribute of consciousness. And it changes every moment. So I am not a changing material. I am a permanent material, never changing element. Okay. So I am that pure soul. So you can make a chart or diagram where you put a circle where you put in yourself, I. Then another circle, that is bhavkarm, the first layer, outer layer, that is bhavkam, where all these emotions of delusions, attachments, and aversions are there. That is bhavkarma. Then the next layer would be dravya karma, the 8 karmas, dravya karma. And the next layer will be no karma, quasi karma. Okay. So this is like that. So that the body comes into the category of quasi karma, no karma. Okay. Dravya karmas are 8 karma that we cannot see, and bhav karma is the experience that we have in our modifications. So when you discriminate on these 3 levels, you come to the conclusion who I am. And then you have to hold on to that, you have to decide on that, and then that is your real identity. And when you look at things from that perspective, everything appears to be different in the sense that I am only a knower of these things, I am not a doer of these things. And that is the time delusion goes away and the right belief comes in. Now the last page, 26, page number 26. Samyak, read it.
Yeah, sure. The real meaning of I is an eternal, indestructible element existing in all the 3 divisions of time, past, present, and future. So as long as we do not develop the feelings of sameness with this sentient, indestructible, everlasting element, which is our soul, we cannot get a correct answer to the question, who am I? The soul that we describe with the word I is a subject of our inner vision and a matter of experience. It cannot be achieved by external activities of any kind. It cannot be bound with mental thoughts, because it is a matter of our soul awareness. Cannot also be achieved with the help of sensual perceptions, because senses only feel touch, taste, smell, color, and sound, and can only be instruments in the knowledge of inanimate objects. These senses cannot be even passive causes of the knowledge of our souls. This soul substance, an object of our experience, is a solid mass of consciousness and bliss. It is all purity, different from the other subjects of senses and other feelings. Its separateness from other external inclinations and oneness with consciousness and other supreme attributes are its purity. It is one, and the oneness of its countless attributes is its unity. Such a soul is soul alone, nothing else, all alone and self-sufficient. I have nothing that I can give others, and being perfect in myself, I do not stand in the need of cooperation from any external being. This soul is above the intricacies of the spoken word, known only to our own experience. The first step towards its realization is a study of the elements, but that realization will arise after discarding all the thoughts about the soul itself. Who am I is a matter of our awareness, and our answer to this question has to be received from our own inner realization. It cannot be expressed in words or writings. Words and writings can only make indications about the Supreme Being. They can point towards a direction, but cannot bring about its modification.
Oh, so nice. So they have come to a very logical sequence of arguments, and it's just opening up your mind that you go deep into this question and you will get the answer. So the real meaning of I is an eternal, that we have already discussed, Anadi Anant, okay? Indestructible, Avinashi, the soul never dies. People cry when near and dear ones, dies. But the soul is indestructible and the body remains here, the soul goes away. Soul never gets destroyed. It is there since time eternal, and it will be there even in the liberated state. The soul doesn't get destroyed, okay? So it is an indestructible element existing in all the three divisions of time. It was in the past, it's still there, and it will be in the future. So long as we do not develop the feeling of sameness. Sameness here means oneness with this sentient, indestructible, everlasting element that is our soul, we cannot get a correct answer to the question, who am I? Okay. So only the words will not be enough. You have to realize, you have to experience it, and that is the time you get the correct answer. So this is all very practical. In theory, you cannot comprehend the nature of soul. You have to experience it to know the nature of the soul. And you can only know it. You cannot again express it in words. Words are very limited to express the actual nature of the pure soul. But still there are indications, and from those indications we can form an opinion, form a judgment, from what you call inference, okay? Conclude. The soul that we describe with the word I is a subject of our inner vision, okay? Antarang drashti. So drashti here is vision, but actually inner belief. It would be inner belief. Vision, we don't use it. But here again, the translation, it's written inner vision, but it's an inner belief and a matter of experience, okay? It's a matter of experience. How can we know the soul through words? It cannot be achieved by external activities of any kind. It cannot be bound with mental thoughts, because it is a matter of our own soul awareness. Soul awareness means you have to know the true identity of the soul, what kinds of quality it possesses, what is its functions, how does it transmigrate from one, how he bounds the karma, and how he gets eliminated, how he gets liberated from this bondage. So this whole, you have to think, and you have to create an awareness about yourself. It cannot also be achieved with the help of sensual perception. So these five senses are not helpful in identifying the soul, because these five senses can only know matter substance with touch, taste, smell, color, sound, five senses. It cannot also be achieved with the help of sensual perception, because senses only feel, touch, taste, smell, color, and sound, and can only be instruments, nimit, in the knowledge of inanimate objects, achetan padarth, jad padarth, matter substances. Okay, so through these senses also we cannot identify the soul. These senses cannot be even passive causes. Passive causes here means instrumental causes, means nimit of the knowledge of our souls. Okay. So soul can be known through extrasensory knowledge, atindriya gyan. Okay. This soul substance and object of our experience is a solid mass of consciousness and bliss, ज्ञान और आनंद से लबालब भरा है. Okay, it's full of knowledge and bliss. It is all purity, different from the subject of senses and other feelings. Its separateness from other external inclinations and oneness with consciousness and other supreme attributes are its purity. So here is the right practice of distinctive knowledge. It is separateness from other external inclination, including the body, and oneness with consciousness, that is a quality of soul, and other supreme attributes are its purity. So this is very nicely establishing the true identity of the pure soul, which I am. Such a soul is soul alone, nothing else, all alone and self-sufficient, complete in itself. I have nothing that I can give others, and being perfect in myself, I do not stand in the need of cooperation from any external being. This is showing the independent nature of each and every soul. I have nothing that I can give others, and nobody can give me something, nobody can help me something, and I cannot also help anybody else, from any in any way. So that is establishing the true identity of the pure soul. This soul is above the intricacies of the spoken word. Shabd jal se pare hai. Just in the beginning itself, I said that words cannot comprehend the true nature of the soul, known only to our own experience. So you have no other way. Swanubhutya chakaste. You can only know your soul through own experience. The very vast colors of Samay Sarji Granth, Acharya Amritchandra said that it can be only known through your own experience, own realization. The first step towards this realization is the study of the elements, 7 elements. You have already done a CC on that, and I have given a question in Viva also about that 7 elements, how practically you can arrive at right belief through the knowledge of 7 fundamentals. Okay, so you take it very seriously and you just think on those lines and then write it in your own words and then record it and send it to me on my personal chat. Last date is 30th June. You can very well prepare first 2 questions because that has already been covered in the syllabus. The third question is not covered. It will take another 15 days to come to that topic. But then that one question will remain that you can do at the end, no problem. Still, we have 22 days to go. Today is 8th. Okay. So you will have 7 days for the last question. And that is also very, very interesting. And I want to take in detail. We will be studying something beyond the textbook. And that question is beyond the textbook. But you will be able to understand, I know. And that is going to solve many of the doubts in your mind once we understand those divisions and subdivisions of Nischay and Vyavhar. Okay. So the first step towards its realization is the study of the elements, but that realization will arise after discarding all the thoughts about the soul itself. Not all the thoughts, all the wrong thoughts. that will be the correct word, all the wrong thoughts. Last paragraph. Who am I is a matter of our awareness. Okay. And our answer to this question has to be received from our own inner realization. Okay. It is not something that you can answer through your intellect. It is something that you have to realize, you have to experience, and then only you will be able to get the answer of who am I. It cannot be expressed in words or writings. Words and writings can only make indication, arrows about this supreme being. When you go on a highway, there are milestones at various places. They give you the direction, and particularly when there are 4 or 5 ways opening up, you need a direction to go into the right direction, because if you go into the wrong direction, it will take a lot of time to come back to the same point and again then go into the right direction. So you cannot afford to go in the right direction. That's why we use Google, and we not only use Google bit, but you also see the milestones and indicators given, the boards given on the roads, that sometimes Google may also go wrong. Google Map. Words and writings can only make indication about the supreme being. They can point towards the direction, but cannot bring about its modification. That you have to do yourself. So this is all about this chapter, who am I? Any questions on this? You are always welcome to ask. Otherwise, I will move on to the next topic. We have half an hour left. So I will try to cover a small poem, which is the last chapter. And I think we can finish it that in half an hour. And that will complete the chapter. Otherwise, I was planning to take the 12 conduct rules of a spiritual minded householder, but that will cover the next week. Today we are going to take the lesson number 11, page number 54.
So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where it talked about that the soul isn't bound by mental thoughts because it's a matter of our awareness and we can't achieve it through any external activities. So when, like Muni are doing dhyan, and even for us when, we are reflecting on and trying to do meditation, how
Okay.
would that aid in a process of trying to realize our soul if it can't be achieved through any external activities, or it's not bound by the mental thoughts?
Right. So mental thoughts comes automatically. We are not the doers of those mental thoughts. Soul is different from that mental thoughts. One thing.
Holly.
The second thing, the meditation that you are talking about. So first you have to identify the soul, then only you can meditate on that, no? So first we have to establish the identity of the soul and then concentrate on that soul, focus on that soul. So then it becomes a meditation. Okay. So that is the thing. The third thing that you asked was,
It was,
right. So this cannot be known by any external things, right? So
yeah.
how do we know the soul? So we have mind. Okay.
Mhm.
We call it as man in Hindi, mind in English. That mind is the connecting link between the soul and the known soul. Because through that mind, you can comprehend matter substance also and soul also. Because 5 sensory objects cannot comprehend soul. You cannot know the soul through 5 senses because they can only know the matter. But the mind has the capacity to know the matter substance also and the non-matter substance also. Okay, mind. And because of that mind, so Samyak Darshan can happen to only those people who has mind. Samyak Darshan or the right belief manifest in all the 4 states of existence. Whether you are human, whether you are subhuman, whether you are a heavenly being or a hellish being. But one condition is very, very compulsory is that you should have mind. So we have animals like frog and snakes. Some frogs have minds also. Some snakes have minds also. And there are some snakes who doesn't have mind. There are some frogs who doesn't have mind. Okay. So mind is compulsory. Those who have mind, they can only experience the soul. So that is the condition. Okay. So the mind is the connecting link through which we can identify the soul. Okay. And
So when
that
we're talking about the mind, is it are we talking about like the physical mind or the gyan that the soul has?
no, Gyan, it will be an attribute of the soul, but the mind that is called man. Okay. Through man. So what will happen now? Initially you will be contemplating about the qualities of the soul through mind. Okay. And then at certain stage, the mind will stop functioning and the experience of the soul will arise.
Mhm.
Okay. So it is said that the mind is helping it, but actually mind is again a part of matter only. But that is the only link between the soul and the non-soul elements. Okay. So through
Yeah.
mind, you are doing, you are thinking about the different attributes of the soul. I am complete. I am full of eternal bliss. I am full of knowledge. I am this, I am that, everything like that. And then suddenly now uh, um, contemplating on the qualities of the soul, this contemplation stops. Okay. And the experience starts. So that is the transformation. So in a way, mind becomes an instrumental cause in our self-realization. And that is why people having mind are only eligible for right belief. Okay. Whether he is in hell, whether he is in heaven, whether he is in subhuman state, whether he is in human state, he has to be with mind. Sangi Panchendriya. Okay. Those people can only experience soul, and because the mind has this ability to comprehend the soul. But
Okay.
the experience only happens when the functions of the mind stops. Okay. There is the switch over. Like in the runaway, aeroplane first runs on the runway, okay, and getting a certain level of inertia of motion, then it takes up the wheels and it flies. But it cannot immediately fly just like a helicopter. Helicopter is a very small machine and aeroplane is a very big machine. 500 people, 300 people have boarded that flight. So it has to run on the runway up to a certain distance, and that will create the momentum in that machine. And through that momentum and the gravitational force and the atmospheric pressure, it takes off the wheel and it flies in the sky. Similarly, before the experience, these contemplations are very necessary. We will understand this more when we cover the chapter of Nischay and Vyavhar. There I will explain you the whole process. But in a nutshell, I have explained you, and I think you have understood it a bit. But still, let the query be there when we will cover that chapter. Not that chapter, in every chapter, you will get answer to that quest in yourself about the soul. Okay. So it is like that. But a very good question to ask. Anyone else?
So
Yeah.
also to add to what Samyak said, so
Mhm.
when we do dhyan, I've tried, but I'm failing very badly. My thoughts keep going into other directions.
So see, that doesn't mean you have failed. The thoughts is a very natural phenomena of our soul. It keeps on. These are all passing thoughts. It comes and goes, it comes and goes, and it is not in our hands. And we are not doer of that. That we need to understand. And that is where we need to practice the discriminative knowledge. That the passing thoughts is not my function. I am a knower. You can know the thoughts. That I got a good thought, I got a bad thought. That you can just know. But it is not in your domain to change that thoughts, to bring those thoughts that you want. It's not in your hand. So when you sit for meditation, Ideally, we sit to meditate of ourselves, to meditate on soul. But
Yeah.
thoughts keeps on coming. Why? Because first you have to identify yourself. And once you identify yourself, the meditation follows. It is something that comes automatically. I'll give you a very practical example. Okay. What is your name? Himali, no?
Yes, sir.
So Himali, you are married?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. Then I've given a wrong example. So somebody, Gia is not married. Okay. So now I ask Gia that you meditate on your fiance.
Yes, sir. You'd mentioned the last class also.
So you now connect to that example. So unless and until you have choose the partner, how you can meditate? So same problem is with meditation. First you identify the soul. Okay. And then you meditate. Even if you don't meditate, it will automatically happen.
I'm going to play.
Pardon?
No, sir.
Acha. Okay. So it is like that. So uh, uh, forget about the meditation. Whatever time you have, you spend it in studying the scriptures. Okay. And that will shape up uh, the knowledge about the, sharpen your knowledge about the soul. And when you know the soul from all the perspectives, then automatically the experience will rise, experience will automatically happen. And when it will happen, you will be able to meditate also. Okay. So our primary objective, primary function would be to just study and understand the concepts. Swadhyay param tap. ध्यान नहीं बोला परम तप, स्वाध्याय परम तप, because this is the swadhyay through which this readings through which our thoughts will develop. We will contemplate on that, and then we will arrive at a decision after the analysis. Okay. So the next step after the analysis will be the decision. And when you decide that I am this, now, right now also you are having so many things coming up in your knowledge. The body is also coming up in your knowledge. The toxic emotions, the passions, these are all, you are knowing all these things. But who are you? That you have to identify. We have identified ourselves as body. We have identified ourselves as the external title that we have acquired, like I am a doctor, I am a CA, I am an engineer, I am a housewife, I am a child, I am a young man, I am an old man. Lot of titles that we have given to ourselves, but we are not those. Then who I am? If I'm not the body, I'm not the toxic emotions, I'm not the identity that I've acquired through my knowledge of, like, I'm a CA, I'm a doctor, everything like that, then what I am? Okay. So this is the question that we need to keep in our mind and find answers from wherever and whatever we read. Okay. So 5 years will be a very long period to identify yourself. But if you have proper intent to know yourself, you will definitely know in a very short time. Already you have something on your mind always. Now going through the studies for last 6-8 months, you know that you have got a better clarity on who you are. Okay. But the belief takes time to come. We are just exploring, and then there will become a time when you will be very confident about yourself. Who am I? And that is the time the right belief will come. But till then, you have to keep trying. And what you do in terms of try, you have to just study. Tattva Nirnay, decision on the fundamentals. That is the only thing that we can do. And that is what Todarmalji has advised in the 9th chapter of Moksha Marg Prakasak. That your function, your efforts is limited to just deciding on the fundamental elements, Tattva Nirnay. You cannot go beyond that. Everything happens automatically. The delusion goes away automatically, because delusion is again a karma. So how can we do anything on the karmic matters? It is a karma, okay, delusion. So that will go automatically. You just decide. While we are studying these scriptures, the delusion is getting lesser day by day, gradually. If such a big thick cloth, a thick wire, if you are just want to cut into two pieces, then how you do it? This way, this way. You go forth and come back. You go forth and come back with that sharp knife, and it will take some time, but it will ultimately tear it into two pieces, and that is the time the right belief will come. So till then, work in progress. Okay. So be very patient. You are in the right direction. You are with the right Dev Shastra Guru. Okay. What else we want? You are getting all the right directions. Just now, the last paragraph, if you see, who am I is a matter of our awareness. And our answer to this question has to be received from our own realization. Okay. The external scriptures and all these lectures will be only an instrumental cause, but the principal cause would be your own inner realization. It cannot be expressed in words or writings. Words and writings can only make indications about this supreme being. Again, I have to open that page 1 minute. About that supreme being, they can point towards the direction. So Dev Shastra Guru will point towards the direction, but cannot bring about its modification. They cannot bring about its modification. It is only you who have to put in those efforts and comprehend, contemplate, and then arrive at a right decision. And that is going to bring the right belief. Okay.
So, and earlier you mentioned Man, Vachan, Kaya. Man is mind, right?
Right.
Vachan and Kaya? Kaya?
It's all matter substance. Mind is also matter substance, but mind has the special quality to comprehend soul. So in the sense that the activity of mind stops when the realization of the soul starts. But immediately prior to that, the function of mind helps us in reaching our self-realization. That's why mind is the connecting link between the soul and the non-soul elements.
So, Vachan is not body.
Vachan is speech, and Kai is body. Mind, speech, and body. Man, Vachan, Kai.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Very interesting chapter. I think I should have given you this one as a concept clarity. But okay, let's change it to this one. Let it be, because anyway, I've given you one question on that Nischay Vyavhar, which I want to convey you. So let's keep this chapter as a concept clarity. So you can start it immediately. Okay. And by the time, the last date for your concept clarity 3 and the concept and the Viva will be the same, 30th June. So you write an essay on who am I. You search from ChatGPT, you read this chapter, you have already got certain information from our past studies also. You connect everything and write in your own words in a logical sequence how you arrive at who am I. Okay? Are you all ready with this? Because this is
No,
again.
excuse me, sir.
Okay? Okay, so you listen to this lecture again and again, and not again and again, only once more you can listen before writing the essay, and you have something on your mind already, and the matter presented here. Just see the sequence of logics that Dr. Bharilji has given here in this chapter. Initially, he ruled out this, you are not this, you are not this, you are not this, you are not this. Then conclusion that if you have a deep curiosity to know who am I, you will definitely get the solution. That's where the actual question comes up, and then starts the solution. And then in terms of solution also, he has given many logics. You can put it in a sequence and give it a very fine shape, to this article. And that will be very helpful for you in your quest for this spiritual journey. Okay. So I have changed my mind, And I know I will be explaining you that chapter also in detail, that Nischay Vyavhar, which I was supposed to give you as concept clarity, but then it will take some time, another 15 days. So then your orals also will start. So you better do in this, and that will serve our both purpose. Okay. So fine. And the question on Nischay Vyavhar will always be there in that Viva. So we will connect to that chapter from that question. Okay. So you start it from today itself. Okay. So still we have 15 minutes, and I will definitely try to finish that small words, even not minutes, at least I'll explain you.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. You
Sir,
ask.
you have put the questions in WhatsApp, sir?
Yes.
Oh,
Group, in the group.
okay.
In our
And the
group.
group, and so our essay has to be prepared according to the answers of the question. Is it like that?
The two assignments are different. This is what, who am I will be concept clarity paper 3. Okay.
Okay.
And the questions that are given in Viva are separate from this. So
Okay.
we have covered so far one assignment, oral assignment, Gandhar Mulyankan. Okay.
Yes.
We have done
Yes.
concept clarity 1, concept clarity 2. Now
Yes.
I'm giving you 2 homeworks. Concept clarity paper 3, based on who am I? You have to write an essay. Okay. And
Okay.
I'm giving you this question because how creatively you can write this chapter, because there are certain
Okay.
information given in this chapter. You take a clue from you, and whatever you have studied so far in this course, and whatever knowledge you had about the scriptures previously also, you add up all this and made your own assessment of who am I. And that will be very creative, and that is going to help you to dwell deep into this question, who am I? And that is what matters in the path of liberation. Okay. So I don't mind giving this as a homework, and it will you will complete it also within 21 days. So 30th June, I'll put that note in the group. Okay. So summary of homage to the Samaysar is the last chapter that we are covering today. And I know I will not able to cover it full, but whatever portion I'll be able to cover, I will cover. So this is a prayer, kind of prayer prepared by Pandit Himmat Bhai from Songad. Okay. So this is basically a homage to the Samaysar. Homage means respect shown publicly. Okay. So this is a summary of homage to the Samaysar. Samaysar is a great scripture written by Acharya Kunkunudev. Okay. And the commentary on that is written by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev and Acharya Jaisen. Okay. And on that Samaysar, this is just a prayer, homage to the Samaysar. Okay. So it's showing the background, under what background Samaysar was written by Kunkunda Acharya Dev. Okay. And this is just a prayer, but through this prayer, they will, an effort has been made to arouse interest in yourself to read the scriptures Samaysar. We have 4 papers on Samaysar in this syllabus of Parmagam Honors course. 4 papers. Okay. And still we will not be covering the full text of Samaysar. We will be only we'll be only studying 2 chapters. First chapter and the second chapter, Jiva Adhikar and Karta Karm Adhikar. This will cover in detail, and this too will complete the what you can say, complete the studies about what is very essential for practicing descriptive knowledge. Okay. So that is enough, and rest of the Samaysar you can cover up as an homework. But still, we will be covering the whole Samaysar book in summary in some other textbook. Okay. So we'll be covering all the 5 Parmagams in that particular book, but those will be summary. We'll not be taking each verse separately, but that will be a overall summary. Similarly, this is a summary to the homage. This is a prayer, kind of prayer. It is also called Samaisar Stuti. It's written by Pandit Himad Bhai from Songad during the time of Pujya Kanji Swami. He was a good scholar, okay, famous scholar, and he has taken this effort to write a homage to the text Samaisar. I'm not reading the Hindi, I'm just explaining the English one. Oh Lord Mahavir, in order to check the spiritual demise, okay, of the worldly beings. What is the spiritual demise? Bhav Maran. Every moment the toxic emotions that we manifest is the spiritual demise of the worldly beings. Because the moment we have passions, anger, pride, and this, it kills our purity. Okay, it kills our calmness, which are the attributes of the soul. So the rise of these passions does not allow the qualities of the attributes to manifest. That is the meaning. Bhav Maran. In order to check the spiritual demise of the worldly beings, following attachments and aversions. So this Bhav Maran is what? Attachments and aversions. You have set going the stream of your divine voice, which gives them true life and which explains to them the fundamentals. Okay, so our religion was about to get extinct, but Kunkunda Acharya Dev had written this text of Samaisar, and it has given a true life, a new life to this divine voice of the Tirthankars, Bhagwan Mahavir. So last Tirthankar is Bhagwan Mahavir. So that is the Lord of, we are all living in the era of Lord Mahavir. Unless the next Tirthankar comes, it will always be a Lord of the last Tirthankar. So we are all in the era of Lord Mahavir. And which explains to them the fundamental. Again, fundamental elements is only what you require to understand properly to get into the path of spiritual liberation. You have done this with feelings of compassion on such beings. You know, if Kunkandu Acharya does not have this feeling of compassion, because of this feeling of compassion, he wrote this book on Samaisar. And through that Samaisar, people gets right belief. Seeing that river of the divine message dried up, okay, that divine message of Tirthankar was drying up, okay, drying up. The spiritual monk Kunkunda Acharya preserved that nectar in the pot of the great scripture Samaisar. So that Amrit of Samaisar, that knowledge, okay, has been kept in the pot of this great scripture Samaisar. So Samaisar has been compared as a pot, and that message that we get from Samaisar is the nectar of that scripture. And who has written it? Kunkunda Acharya. Seeing the divine message being dried up, he had this compassion feeling that if I don't write this book, how the coming generation will get access to this knowledge? And because of his compassionate feeling, he wrote this book on Samaisar, and that gave the true life to this dying cause of the divine voice. You know, it's given a new life to that moment, to that momentum. Next verse. Kunkunda Acharya wrote Samaisar, and Amrit Chandra Acharya adorned it with his commentary and accompanying verses, Kalash. Okay, so 415 verses are there in Samaisar text written by Kunkunda Acharya Dev, and Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev wrote commentaries on those 415 verses, and additional to that, in between, he also wrote Kalash called accompanying verses, and those are 278 in numbers. Oh great Samaisar, the mysteries of all this universe have been unraveled in your exposition. So what Samaisar depicts? Samaisar depicts the answer to your today's question. Who am I? Okay. So if you read Samaisar, you will get the answer to who am I. If you read Chadala, you will get the answer to who am I. If you read Pravachansar, you will get the answer to who am I. If you read Moksh Smart Prakasak, you will get the answer to who am I. Whatever you read, you get this answer, who am I. All of these textures are dedicated to just one question, who am I? And the moment you realize who am I, your path of liberation begins, and in very short time you will get liberated. Third verse. O Lord Kunkun, your voice as incorporated in Samaisar is full of the peace and tranquility of the soul, which you have distributed to the liberation-minded beings very liberally. Your voice as incorporated Samaisar means what you have written in Samaisar brings peace and tranquility of the soul, which you distributed to the liberated minded beings very liberally. Okay. By reading Samaisar, we can bring peace and tranquility in the manifestation of our soul, and that is what the gift Kunkunda Acharya has gifted, has distributed to us very liberally. Just as nectar removes the effect of unconsciousness, nectar is Amrit. So the person who is dying, if you give him nectar, he comes to life back. Just as nectar removes the effect of unconsciousness due to consumption of poison, the eternal delusion, okay? Eternal means it is there since time immortal. Due to the poison of false belief, is shattered to pieces with the nectar of your divine exhortation. Okay. So when you read this Samaisar, your delusion gets destroyed. Okay. The poison of delusion gets destroyed. The poison of false belief is shattered to pieces with the nectar of your divine exhortation. What is exhortation? Just search Himali. I think divine voice that he wants to convey, or the divine lessons that he has given in Samaisar. What is the meaning? Exhortation?
So insistence, but I will just like your push or emphatically urging someone to do something.
Okay. So more or less like in this, the content of Samaisar brings that nectar. Okay. And that nectar shatters the false belief into pieces. And when the false belief goes off, you realize yourself, and that is the birth of your spiritual journey of liberation. Consequently, the delusions of the soul are washed off, and it engages itself in self-realization. So with that note, we end today. Who am I? And these first three stanzas are almost similar, and I think this will also help you in writing the content on who am I, concept clarity paper 3. And that's where we end today, and we'll continue next week. Okay. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है। 9 बार नौकार मंत्र गिनेंगे। जय जिनेन्द्र।
Jai Jineन्द्र, thank you.